guys, and welcome back here to another tutorial of the Dev Realm. And today we're gonna be carrying on with our building system series. And in the last episode, what we did here, something really cool. We are now automatic changing the camera when you press place. And the video of today, we're gonna be setting so we're gonna be doing the toggle. So for example, if you press that, you right click, it goes back to normal. And then if you click, it shows the part. But the idea is that at this point, wherever we click, the part's gonna be showing up as well. So to do that, let's do this. We're gonna go here to the player controller, and what we're gonna do here is that we need a variable to tell us that the building system is enabled and is already, and the player is placing stuff. So let's start to organize our project. So we're gonna call here, in the cat we're gonna call building widget, because they are all related to the building widget stuff. Player reference is not, so that's okay. And what we're gonna do here is then we're gonna create a custom event. Then we're gonna call toggle point widget, right? And we gonna create a new variable called in building mode, and this is what we're gonna select for boolean. It can be public, private, doesn't matter. We're gonna be only using this internally. Make sure it's a single instead of an array. Here we're gonna create a branch, and then we're gonna do that something like this here. And we're gonna create here another event called enable point widget, and then we're gonna do the same thing to disable point widget. So you could actually put those widgets in the widgets location, but I'm just gonna put it in here for now. So when we are enabling the widget, in this case we're gonna do that. And when we are, then what we have to do here is that we need to create a variable called the widget, point widget reference. Put it in there. Let me just plug this stuff here, just so I clean up a little bit. Okay, now on the disable pointing widget, what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna get the pointing widget reference, and we're gonna remove from parent, which is pretty cool. Remove from parent, and pretty much that's it. What we're gonna do that. And if it is enable, if it's closed, then we want to enable. Actually, in this case here will be different. If it's in building mode, we want to enable, and then once it's not in building mode, we want to disable. This is not, we're not toggling anything, but yeah, we kind of doing something stuff. So now what we can do here is that we can call this point widget, just so we can comment this a little bit better. And then we can copy this and dump this stuff, just place it in here, and there you go. Right now we need to control also the building mode if the player is in building mode. So we're gonna create a branch. If the player is not, if the player not boolean, which that means if it's false, if the player is not in building mode, we want to make sure the player goes to building mode. Okay. And I know it sounds confusing, but we only want the player to be able to access this if he's not already in building mode. If he's already in building mode, then we could probably just disable everything, or don't do anything really. So right now, if I press V, press place, which is really good. Actually, there's just one thing here I forgot. We need to set up that to true. And now the thing just complaining about an error. Which one is the error? Point widget reference. Oh yeah, because we don't have the reference. Let me just make sure that is valid. So if it's valid, you want to be removed, otherwise nothing, because it doesn't exist. So in this way we ignore that error here. So if I press V, place, and if I press V again, nothing gonna happen because it's already enabled. So we have to find a way now to disable this, right? So to do that, we're gonna create a new input, which is actually gonna create two new inputs on the player. So we're gonna go here to the third person, inputs, actions, and we gonna create two new inputs. So the first one here is gonna be called place part, and the next one here is gonna be called console part, right? Actually, let's give a better name. Let's just put let's go building, and in here as well let's put it building as well. So in this way, or even better, we can just right click, building inputs, so we know exactly that they are only for building stuff, and then we don't get confused with things that we don't have to get confused to. So to do this, remember that we have created in the player controller input section where we control the widgets. So this we're just going to rename to open and close the widget. And now what we're going to do here is we're going to do the cancel building part here. So we're going to copy that, and where I'm going to right click, I'm going to search for this building cancel part, and now I have to create the widget, the logic that will cancel that part. So to cancel the building system is really simple. All you got to do here is that this is when you start the building system. So start building system. This is not completed yet, just to give you some context. And now we're going to create a custom event. I'm going to call cancel building system, or actually building part. We start to call part. And to do that is that we want to make sure that yeah, I think it doesn't matter what we want to do here, because what we're going to do is that we set this building mode to false, and we call this oh, what's that? Oh yeah, sorry. We're gonna call this toggle widget here. And now there's one more problem that we gotta deal here, but I'm gonna just show you when that happened. So what happened here, now we can call this building part cancel, and this is not gonna work because we still have to set up one main thing here. If you go back to the actions, if you open up your input, the IMC default, we need to add those actions in there. Otherwise, nothing gonna happen. So let's add the mapping here. So we're gonna add one, and then we're gonna search here for the cancel part, and we're gonna add another one, which we're gonna be searching here for the place building part. And you see here where there is this keyboard logo icon, sorry. I'm just gonna click on that, and I'm gonna press right click on my keyboard, on my mouse, sorry, just so it captures the key that I wanna use. And in here, same thing, but this time I'm gonna press the left click, right? You can use any keys that you want, as long as it's in here. You can use even a keyboard if you want, sorry, a game pad, but I'm just gonna use this for now. Compile and save. And I think that's gonna work. Let's press play and let's see what happened. So now I come here, press place part, and then for right click, you see it removes the part, and I can still go up in the building part again. But there's a problem, my camera is still locked when I cancel. I don't want this to be happening. So on the player, we need to create like a reverse logic of this, which is gonna be quite pretty straightforward. Which is what we can even do here is, now I'm not gonna get, well, what we can do here is something like this. So we could do a branch, right? And in the start building, we can create a new variable called reverse, maybe is reverse, something like that. And then you're gonna plug it in here, right? So if it's in reverse, we need to change this. So let me just copy and paste exactly this logic here, and then we're gonna plug it in there. So if it's reverse true, then we want to revert the camera the way it was. In that case, if you notice in here, our camera bone has some values already, which is basically 0, 0, 0, 0. So everything's 0. So I'm just gonna put this to 0, 0, and 0. So in that way, we'll get a current location, and then we'll set up everything to 0, and then we'll take some time to do the alpha thing here. Just gonna plug this new alpha there. Cool. So if you don't know how to create this split, you just right click in the line. Yeah, so then the line gets duplicate. Or what you can do, right click, and then you search for, I think it's route, add reroute node, or you double click with the left click on the line, and then it does the same thing. Okay, so now let's see if that works. So we go back there. Remember that we have start building camera. We're gonna copy that. We're gonna plug this here, and we're gonna take this is reverse, which means that we are reversing whatever the changes that we did for that. Right click. Really cool. Nice. This is really, really nice. So right now we kind of have a very basic system here. And the next thing that we gotta do before we can actually move the part around is now we have to spawn the part. So let's do this. So to spawn the part here, we're gonna, so let me just rename this. It's gonna be cancel building part. Let's just, oh, not conval, cancel building part. So let's make sure that we put like a red color. That means it's a negative action, just so we can keep our consistency here when we're building this stuff, so we don't get lost with many things that we don't want. So now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create a custom event, and we're gonna call this spawn building part. And the spawn building part, what's gonna do here is that based on the part that we got here, we're gonna spawn the part. So in here, what we need here is the building part reference. So as the building part, and I'm just gonna call part ref. I am gonna break this, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna call a class called spawn actor from class, which is really good. I'm gonna plug this actor there, and if you notice, it's gonna ask for a transform. Where do you want to spawn this actor? Right now, I don't know what I want to spawn this, because we still have to set up the line trace from the camera, which you don't have that yet, and you also have to set that thing up and moving around. But just to simplify here, just to close the video, we're gonna get the player reference. We gonna basically get actor transform. We're gonna plug this here for now. We're gonna compile and save. And there's one more thing here that we gotta do, which is basically on the parts we need to start. Let's add here a couple of things on the part. So we're gonna go to building system, player. Oh, sorry, wrong place. Building system here. I need to delete that folder after. So building system, the base building part. We're gonna add just a cube here for now. We're gonna add here a cube, static cube, just so we can see what's going on. And then after we're gonna add our parts, let's make sure that on the widgets, sorry, on the variables, blueprint parts, we have added, oh, I haven't clicked that. We have added all those parts reference. So in here, we can just select here for now, here and here, which is really good. Compile and save, and now if you press play, when we click that, you should be able to spawn that part. So to spawn that part, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna right click all those tabs. I don't need all that stuff open. So here we have the spawn building part, right? And what we're gonna do that is basically we need to store the reference. We need to store this building part that we're trying to create, so we can use it after. So what we're going to do is promote to a variable, and we are going to call this building part to spawn, right? And we gonna basically attach this here. Okay, this is gonna be used later on. We're not gonna use this right now. But if you notice, most of the building parts, they kind of give you a preview of where you want to place that part. So we're going to achieve here the same thing. Just by coming here, we're going to actually call spawn building part, and then we're going to call this dash preview. The reason why we want to call preview because it's not the final part yet, and this is the part reference. And let's check what's gonna happen. And I come that place, and there you go. So we have the part here. And then when you right click, let's do that. So we're gonna just create here promote to a variable spawn part preview. Sorry, building part preview. And what we're gonna do is, let me just put this inside a category called building part preview. Put it in that. And when you press cancel, you want to be able to get this actor, and you want to just destroy actor. You want to completely destroy from the word, so you don't have to be worrying about the part doesn't exist anymore, right? So nothing has been placed yet. So if I press play, we're gonna come back in that. We're gonna press V, and then right click. And as you can see, okay, I got my building part. Come down here. If I press the right click on the mouse, it disappears. So that's it, guys. So thank you very much for watching. This is everything for the lesson. In the next one, we're going to be fixing this issue. We're going to be also fixing the line trace. And then we're going to start to set up our basic parts. But before we set up the parts, we need to make sure that we can move those parts with the mouse. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next episode.